Welcome, everybody. What an introduction that is, by the way. To the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel. We are back and we're doing this live because there's a lot to talk about. So I'm delighted to have Abdul back on the channel for a bit of live wildcard building, mate. Because yeah, your wildcard is not 100% locked in. You just told me off screen you have a couple of drafts that you're still not 100% sure on. So what I want to do in this live stream is kind of work through things with you, obviously live, and then after that, after we see what you're doing, just get the opinions of the people watching, and then do a little bit of a small Q&A at the end, just for some quick fire questions. Does that sound good? How's it been so far? I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen you on the channel, but in terms of building this squad, and you know, it's been pretty hectic the last couple of days, but have you always been planning to wildcard, or have you just been sort of pushed into it last couple of days? Oh, sorry. I think I have you muted. I'm not quite sure how. No sound from Abdul. How have I done that then? Sorry. This is the beauty of not live streaming that often. I think I have noise, which is all that's important, really. I'm not quite sure what I've done. Let's go with this instead, and I think that should be good. Let me know if it's still muted, guys. I've just changed my audio settings. Go on, Abdul. I think you'll be fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So yeah, I was saying it's I wildcarded in 30. The original plan was 31, but obviously things happened with the Haaland injury and that West Ham statement on the website as well, which kind of pushed me towards it. So yeah, here we are.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone, but we're back. Yeah, I as you can tell, I'm not a streamer, so there are a couple of technical difficulties. But let's get into it, mate, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's get into it. That was a bit more seamless. We've got an open draft on screen on the My Team tool. Let's do it, mate. Let's go for what you're most likely to go with right now. I mean, when's deadline? It's 6:15.
6:15, yeah.
Oof. I mean, I am not locked in at all. I have no idea what I'm doing, but yeah, let's go for it. Who's in your team?
Yeah. Right, so I'll go with so as I said, I've got two kind of drafts. One is a Palmer draft, one is a non-Palmer draft. The Palmer draft is basically leaving me open to getting Saka in the next few weeks, possibly for Game Week 33 when Arsenal are likely to double in. But I'm going to go with the non-Palmer draft first, and I'll kind of let you know which players I'm going to change
Okay.
if I do go for the Palmer draft. And I think a lot of it depends on, I guess, if we get early team news on Arsenal today as well. If Saka's starting, then that's going to be quite huge in the implications of for my team.
Yeah.
But in goal, I've got Raya and Martinez.
Okay.
So obviously, so I'm set up for basically what I'm going to do.
Yeah, this is what we need to. Yeah, we need to ask you this beforehand. What chips have you got left, and then when are you planning to use them?
Yeah, so we've got triple captain, bench boost, and free hit.
Okay.
So the plan is at the moment triple captain 32 and bench boost 33, free hit 34. Sorry, so you're triple captain 32, bench boost 33, free hit 34.
Okay.
Right. And then in defence, I've got double Arsenal, got Gabriel and Saliba and Guardiol, and also Konsa and Livramento.
Okay.
All right. So basically, with that, I've got the two doubling keepers for 33, and I'll kind of explain my chip path as well on this draft. Once we've got all the players in. But in midfield, I've got Salah, Sarr, Kluivert, Eze, and Murphy.
Right.
So I think that's a quite a template midfield. I think there's only, I guess, Murphy spot is the one that's going to be quite different, I guess. And the Kluivert, some people might have Palmer there instead. Those with better team value. and a slightly different setup. But I think, Salah, Eze, and Sarr are going to be really, really popular. Up front, this is the most template. I think everyone's going to have, or most people will have, Marmoush, Mateta, and Isaac.
Yeah.
So with this team, it's so what I really, really like this team, right? The only problem is it blocks Saka because I've got triple Arsenal there. Now, but with this team, it's really good for 31, for 30, 31, and in 32. Really good. Triple captain Isaac. Um, the three players that I'm going to have benched are going to be Livramento, Konsa, and Murphy, right? And Martinez. They're probably going to be benched for the next up until game week 33. So they're just there as kind of kind of placeholders for my bench boost, in a way. And obviously game week 32, sorry, when Newcastle double.
Yeah.
So the plan is at the moment, so that, in the ideal world, I don't get any injuries, etc. I save my transfer until game week 33. In game week 33, I do my three Newcastle players to Watkins, Rogers. No, sorry. Um, God, I'm getting confused. Sorry, yeah. So Wan-Bissaka, Watkins, and Savino. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's the
This
plan.
is
So
this. Okay. This is the thing which I'm sort of trying to weigh up is how you deal with the Newcastle players, because if you want a bench boost in 33, you obviously don't want them for that. Villa, that would be your bench boost pretty much. Livramento, Murphy away to Villa, which isn't great. So the plan is to sell them for doubling players, or just players with better fixtures, I suppose.
yeah, doubling players and Wan-Bissaka, who's going to have Southampton at home.
Okay.
Um, So that'll give me the full 12 double game week players for 33. And obviously, this is on the basis that City, Villa, Arsenal, and Palace double in 33, which I think the general consensus is that it's going to happen. It's not
Yeah.
been confirmed yet, but I think, most of the planner guys like Krellin and Talha, etc., say that it's very, very likely to happen. Um, so with that draft, it's quite seamless in that sense because I've got three free transfers now and a wild card. I've still got my three free transfers. So game week 30, 31, 32, if anything happens, injuries, etc., I've got the transfers there to deal with it. Ideally, if they don't happen, then I remove my Newcastle players in 33 for two doubling players and a player with a really good fixture, and then just bench boost in that game week. Um, and that's the plan with this draft. But the problem with this draft is that obviously there's no Saka. And the reason why I'm leaning a bit towards this draft is that because first of all he's just back from injury. They've got Fulham, at home, which is a decent fixture. But then they've got Real Madrid in the Champions League between game week 30 and 33. Between 30 and 32, right? So he's going to be prioritised for those game weeks. For the Champions League for sure. I
Yeah.
think. I think obviously mathematically they've not lost the league yet, but I think it's pretty much gone, isn't it? It's Liverpool's, and I think Arteta will know that, and he will be prioritising the Champions League. So I think there's going to be a lot of reduced minutes for Saka over the next few weeks, but by game week 33 he might be an option. And the only problem with this draft is I'm kind of, I guess, pricing myself out of that.
Yeah. In terms of even maneuvering to him, it would be pretty tough as well, I imagine. So let's talk about him then, because I mean, Anshik has said in the chat thoughts on Saka in general. So I mean, people want to know just generally, do they go there now? Do they risk it on wildcard or not? I mean, if we all knew that Saka was fit and was going to play the majority of minutes, and even if we knew he was going to play, say, 70 minutes against Fulham, I think he'd be in. Well, I'm not sure. It's always tough, when you've got a player that's been out for such a long time. But when it's someone like him, I mean, one of the top three, maybe arguably top four fantasy options there is. Yeah. You have more leeway to be like, you know what, no, I just need to get him in. And we know what he's like with injuries as well. I know he's been out for a long time, but he is quite sturdy in general. He doesn't get injured that often. So I'll expect him to be, back in the team, back solid and playing without sort of any niggles for as soon as he comes back in the team. I'm trying to think at the same time I'm talking here, but I'm just like, at what point do you risk going for him, or like how important is it to have a strategy for him? And on your second draft, which we can get into the differences, is that the one where you have a more of an option to get him in later down the line?
Yeah, with my second one,
Okay.
it's fairly easy because the problem with the second one is I need to remove Mateta for João Pedro, get in Palmer for Clivert, and then different goalkeepers. I got
Oh,
Henderson, Martinez. So
sorry.
yeah,
Say that again. So Mateta out for João Pedro.
yeah,
I instantly hate it, but fair enough. Yeah. I mean, you
yeah.
need the cash. This is the thing.
That's the thing. And then so I do Clivert to Palmer, and then my keepers would be Henderson and Martinez.
Okay. So that's the slot there for
Yeah. So
Saka to come back in. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, look, it's kind of like a Palmer versus Mateta, and Palmer's not being great. He's an injury doubt. But the thing is, there's no way I'm going to start with Saka. Like even if he starts against Fulham, because we don't know, he could get 60 minutes. He's back from a long
Yeah.
injury. I know Arteta said that he's had a behind closed doors game and he's ready to start, but we've got to take what Arteta says with a pinch of salt, really.
This is what
So
Brian's saying in the chat. We could get a Saka leak today, but
yeah.
I'll like if we see that Saka's starting, that doesn't make me more inclined to get him. Genuinely, I mean,
No, no, it wouldn't make me inclined to get him, but it make me more inclined towards a Palmer
yeah,
draft.
yeah, good point. That's a good point.
You-
Yeah, but it's actually, I agree with that because you could say, if you see he's starting, it would tempt more people. But actually, is that the right move to get him in this week? And then it's Everton away anyway, which isn't that, it's quite a challenging fixture. Before
Yeah.
then, you can sort of reassess. Yeah, Taylor is exactly what Abdul's just said. He's basically guaranteed to play 180 against Madrid as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the kind of issue. But then, I guess by 33, he will be, or if he's still fit, he's probably is going to be an option, and he's probably going to be the best captaincy option that game week as well. If
Yeah.
he's fit and he's built up his minutes. So yeah. So I mean, like with this, I mean, the thing is, a lot of people who have got higher team value than me can get Mateta as well as Palmer, which sucks a bit because for me, I've got to basically pick between the two.
Yeah.
And with Mateta, he's got a double coming up. He's just such a good option. He's on penalties. I guess the only downside with Mateta is that he is wearing that face mask. I think he played around about 60 odd minutes against in the FA Cup against Fulham, but that could have been planned, and I think he might just be fine. But yeah, that's my kind of dilemma at the moment. I really can't get both. I have tried. I tried to anchor in 4.1 million defenders, just doesn't work. Especially when I need to use that bench boost in 33.
It's tough. It really is tough. Talking about chips more generally, do you think that, well, if you have fewer chips, do you think that there is more scope to use them in different weeks? For example, if you just had bench boost left, would you be considering using that in a different week? I've not got triple captain, so I was looking at maybe doing bench boost in 32. But is 33 just the best week to do it? I'm just thinking with the Newcastle players, it's quite a lot of transfers to then get them all out when you've had them for 32.
Yeah,
Is
I
it worth
think
doing that?
if you've used if you're triple captain, I think a bench boost 32 is like very viable because it's closer to your wild card and you can still get a really decent bench boost. I mean, I've looked at a bench boost 32 and I could get a really good bench for that week. The only thing is that I've got a triple captain, and I think
Yeah.
Isaac triple captain is better than a triple captain gaming 33. It could be Marmoush, it could be Saka, but they're not really, I guess, lock picks in terms of small chance. Haaland is back by then. Small chance, I guess. It could be back or on the way back, and Saka, fitness wise as well. It's not guaranteed. Whereas right now I've got a guaranteed Isaac there who's on pens, 90-minute man. And so that's with me. But in your position, if you're not got a triple captain, then yeah, I think I'd probably be more inclined to bench boost 32 if I didn't have a triple captain, to be
Really?
honest. Yeah, because it's closer to the wild card.
Yeah.
You can get a good bench boost out of that and just kind of save transfers up until 33.
Yeah.
Use the transfers to get a good 11 out.
I mean, the single fixtures are really good in 32, which is what I like. I'm not sure about goalkeepers is the only thing, because what I love on a bench boost that you have 4 fixtures from goalkeepers. I know the bench is only your bench. It doesn't actually matter who's in your starting 11. So say you have 11 doublers in your starting 11, your bench boost is still your 4 players on your bench if they have single game weeks. So,
Yeah.
there's not too much of a difference there necessarily. But I don't know. Who would you have for goalkeepers if you were bench boosting 32?
I think for 32, you'd go for somebody like, I'd say, you could go Henderson, Martinez.
Yeah.
No, sorry, who's got a double in 32 again?
Well,
Sorry.
it's only Palace and Newcastle. That's the double. That is it. That's the only game. It's just that rearranged game.
Yeah, I
That's it.
think you'd have to go Pope and Henderson then. If you're doubling in 30, if you're bench boosting 32, sorry, that's probably your only option
Yeah,
for
which I
Pope.
think sounds a bit weak, don't you think?
Um,
You're losing out on maybe better options for Palace. I mean, I'm sure better options for Palace. I think there are 4 other Palace players I'd rather get, and there are other Newcastle players I'd rather get. But
yeah, but then like just instead of like a Sarah or an Eze, like there's good options there as well. Like for example, you could keep Clivert. Obviously, you'd be getting a doubling goalkeeper. And you get a Murphy instead. So there's a lot of kind of options in midfield which you can go for. Obviously, I mean, if you look at it in isolation, then yeah, the top 3 Palace assets are Eze, Sarr, and Mateta. But you've got to look at when you're playing your chips as well. And I think if you are bench boosting in 32, then you've probably got to go with those goalkeepers. And yeah, I mean the thing is with the 32, the biggest advantage for me is it's closer to the wild card.
yeah,
Whereas even like 3 game weeks is a lot. Like I'm going to wild card game week 30 and bench boost 33, and I've got planned transfers for that game week 33 as well to activate the bench boost. And there's just so much things that can happen in that time.
okay. I think let's round this off with a couple of questions from the people. We've got time for just a few
Yeah.
questions. Nick actually says, and I completely agree with this. It's a shame Haaland is out. Managers would have had to make some tough decisions due to his price, but now all drafts look the same. Do you think all drafts look the same?
I agree. I think there's about 11 players that are template. I think there's about 4 different spots there,
Yeah.
kind of depending on team value. It is a bit of a shame in that sense. But I think what will kind of differentiate it is our chip strategies now.
Yeah.
BB 32 or 33 and then triple captain. So some people still got their assistant manager as well.
Okay. Over 500 people in the live stream, which is amazing to see. Get your questions in very quickly, guys. We've got time for a couple of more. Really good. And then we'll round things off. Taylor says they're currently on bench boost 32. They've got Sells with Everton home, which is, yeah, exactly, a good single game week fixture there. And then a potential double in 36 when Raya goes to Anfield. The 36 doublers, we're not going to know 100%, if they're going to happen even in that week for a while.
Yeah, I mean, like you're gonna like so Forest will have to beat City for Forest double in 30. So you're gambling. I mean, it could happen, of course, but I think City will still be favourites for that.
Trippier or Livramento? Money, no problem.
I mean, if money's no problem, then Trippier.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
One thing I'd say is maybe he's not going to play loads of minutes necessarily. I was just thinking about this myself, but I mean, just 'cause he's not played that much this season, but I'm not quite sure who else would play there.
Yeah, I think he's fairly nailed. But what I would say as well is that money could come in handy because we're going to be making a lot of transfers over the next few weeks. But yeah, in isolation, if money is no issue, then Trippier is a better option, especially if Gordon's out. He's going to be on more set pieces as well.
Yeah, completely agree. Would you triple captain Isak in 32 or wait for a better option later on? Aiming to bench boost in 33, great stream. I mean, so you have said you're going to triple captain in 32. Is
Yeah.
any chance that you might wait until another double in 36?
I don't think so because with 36, we don't know. I mean, you're probably looking at your best option, maybe like a Chris Wood. I mean, I guess you can't. The thing is, when you don't know the fixtures, you're kind of gambling. Whereas I'd rather just take the kind of points on board. And I think if you've got the triple captain and you can triple captain Isaac, I would do that over waiting and hoping for a better fixture in 36.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Now, someone in chat has asked to see the best Game Week 30 wildcard team from the hub. Should I show them just quickly? Normally I wouldn't do this because this is normally, you got to sign up for this, guys. Link down below. But teams on screen. Interesting team. It's got Semenyo in there. It's got Palmer in there. Watkins is in there. So it's like it's not template at all. Again, this might be because, we're not sure about Marmoush's minutes, 100%. It's got someone like Hoyson on the bench, even Colwell on the bench. So, fun team. If you want to see that and analyze that a little bit more, link down below. Let's round things off with one final question about the assistant manager chip, Abdul. Gentigo is asking, assistant manager chip thoughts. If you still have it, it's the most powerful chip, apart from obviously this wildcard we're about to use. When's the best time to use it?
I mean, if you're wildcarding this week, so tough. I mean, if you're wildcarding this week, you can use it on Eddie Howe, right, in 31, or Glasner. I mean, I'd be tempted by just going like Emery. So go, because I think Forest is a bonus game. Then they've got Southampton, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check.
They have Forest in 31. Yeah, Southampton away, then the double.
And then the double. So, I mean, I think it's hard to be using the transfers right now on changing your manager. So I'd probably go for one manager, like either a Glasner or an Emery. That'd be my shot. And I think with Villa, I think I fancy them at home against Forest. Southampton's probably a game where you're like, that's one of those banker games where you're guaranteed points, and then obviously the double game week. I mean, I wouldn't be looking. I think it'd be hard for you to be changing managers if you're playing your AM chip now. So I think that's the top two managers. Another option is, play the wildcard this week. Do the bench based triple captain. 32, 33, whatever, and then AM in 30, 35 or 36. Because again, you're gambling on those fixtures coming in. But the advantage of that is that you're not kind of restricting yourself. Right now, you've got all these kind of game weeks back to back, and you're going to be really restricted. You're not going to be able to use any other chips, during that 3 game week period. Whereas at the end of the season, you can kind of get all your chips out of the way and have that, one last kind of hurrah, and just hope, you get a good set of fixtures, doubles and some bonus games.
Yeah, I think I'd be inclined to go late as possible and really just have some fun last few games where we know anything can happen, and a lot of teams will be really fighting with everything, and other teams obviously won't be. Although I'm not sure that this season it seems that almost everyone can qualify for Europe, so I'm not sure we're going to necessarily have that as much, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So there you go, Dan. I think that answers your question, even though it was from Gentigo. And let's leave it with this comment from Hanad Cisco, who says, "I'm better than you guys." What do you think about that, mate?
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, definitely better than me this season, anyway.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much, mate. Enjoyed that. If you do want to see what Abdul ends up doing, then head on over to Fantasy Football Hub and check out his final team reveal. I'm going to be looking at it, mate. Hopefully you post it with enough time before the deadline for me to copy.
My final team reveal will probably be on Twitter.
Oh, really?
I'm going to try to update it on the app. Yeah, it's just with the deadline time, and I'm working today, so it's going to be tight, but it will definitely be on Twitter.
Well, Abdul's Twitter's on screen. My Twitter is also on screen. I won't be tweeting, though, because I don't care. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Apparently, Hanad Cisco is ranked 1,309, so fair enough. You are better than us this season. I'll give you that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair play. Fair play. You got to brag. If you're ranked around that, if you got 4 digits, respect, you're doing well. Anyway, we will catch you on the next one. Good luck this game week.